What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. It's Justin. Excited to do another live stream. Today, I've got a couple cool things to talk about. But first of all, how was your week? Are you looking forward to anything for the weekend? Let me know where you're tuning in from. What's up, Coco? What's up, Drea? Thanks for tuning in. First and foremost, I want to make a very special announcement, which I'm really excited about. So next Friday, a week from today, I'm going to be putting on a live Zoom workshop, which I'm calling my brand attraction audit workshop. So over the last couple months, I have done over 200 of these brand attraction audits for all sorts of different types of creators. And I keep seeing the same mistakes over and over in terms of, how you're actually talking about yourself, what your creator identity is, and very simple things that you can do to ensure that you're not preventing brands from wanting to reach out to you for paid partnerships. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to drop the link to the workshop in the chat if some of you may be interested in attending. I really wanted to make the cost to attend very modest, so it's only $40. Obviously, my more involved courses are a larger investment, but this is for everyone. It's you don't have to have any experience doing brand partnerships. You don't really even have to have a following on social media. If this is just something that you want to do and you're interested and excited about growing, a way in which you can make money partnering with brands, I really encourage you to attend. It's going to be a lot of fun. So those of you who might be interested, it's going to be so instead of the live stream next week, I'm going to be doing the workshop. So so go check out the link, and I would love to see you guys there. Spots are limited, so if you want to attend, I would love to have you there. Anyways, okay, so all right, let's see. We got tuning in from England, Drea. Tuning in from Berlin, Coco. That's awesome. What's up, Oliver? Yeah, a week just flies by. Absolutely. Let me actually pull up Instagram because I am live streaming on Instagram as well today. Let's see here. That's my stories. Let's see here. Who is on Instagram? Diana, what's going on, Diana? Great to see you here. It says other people have joined, but it won't tell me their usernames. That's okay. If you're here, let me know if you're on the Instagram chat. Okay, cool. So Drea, it's going to be about an hour or two. Exactly. Yeah. And if you're not able to attend live, you'll be able to be sent the recording as well. So, if it's not a good time, I'm going to be recording everything too. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be about an hour. Okay, so I wanted to start off. So first of all, if you have any questions, you want to talk about brand deals, anything, let me know in the chat. But to start off, I wanted to talk about something that it's been on my mind. We've talked about it like in the past on some live streams, but kind of just informally. But I wanted to talk about safety and privacy tips for influencers and creators. I might do a whole video on this, but I wanted to first off, start talking about it on the stream because, I've had conversations with creators who have had these things happen in the past, and they're always unfortunate. And my wife, April, and I have experienced quite a lot of issues over the years with safety and privacy, especially with our children, or it's just like more considerations when you have kids. And so I wanted to just help you avoid the things that we have had to experience in the past. Okay, so first and foremost, when you put yourself out there on social media, you probably know like you're going to get people who either don't agree with you or don't like you for whatever reason. You can't figure it out. And so that is like something that you have to be willing to deal with when you put yourself out there on social media. So like that's the first thing. And that's what I think most people experience initially when they're starting to grow, is that they'll have trolls make like rude comments or negative comments or things like that. But what I'm going to be talking about today is actually things that you can do preventatively when you're creating your content to ensure that no boundaries or no lines can ever be crossed by your followers. There may be some followers who are well-intentioned, but they don't understand that there's like boundaries that you need to have, in terms of like a creator-follower relationship. So the first thing that I think is really important to talk about is that you need to be cognizant of your surroundings when you're filming or when you're taking photos. So, for example, if you're a vlogger, okay, on YouTube, or, if you're doing Instagram lives or things like that, simple things like addresses on your packaging. So if you're like showing a close-up of an item or something, and you have a box, an Amazon package or something, or some other package, or letters from the mail sitting on your kitchen counter, you need to be really careful anytime that you're, capturing content like that. That's like the most obvious thing that you need to, make sure that you're preventing. If you get a package from a company, take off the label, or scratch it out with black Sharpie or something before you shoot or before you do an Instagram stories, because that's like the most simple thing, the simplest thing that you can do as a creator to prevent that. Also, I see a lot of creators taking photos on their front doorstep, right? Which I always recommend not doing. The worst is when you actually include your street number, like you have like the number of your house on the like on the in the picture, which is definitely something you don't want to do. But even if you don't have the number of your house, just showing what the front of your house looks like, you like Google has Street View, right? So people can go and like if you're motivated enough, which our followers have been in the past, you can actually just like go street by street. If someone knows generally what city you live in, or they can find out generally what neighborhood you live in, they can go street by street until they kind of like triangulate where you're located, and based on pictures that you've taken and posted on social media, or vlogs that videos that you've uploaded and things like that. So I always encourage you not to take photos or videos in the front of your house, because I just don't think that's good practice. The other thing too is that I would encourage you not to tag locations too close to your home. So, there is a tendency, like when you're going out to a restaurant or going out to some, area, or, local business or small establishment or something like that, to tag the business. And if they're like a couple blocks away from your home, that can be challenging. So yes, if you want to do it within your, if you live in a large enough city, I encourage you to make sure that you're not tagging businesses that are too close to where you live. That's just been my experience is again, like your followers, if they're motivated enough, they can piece together all these different types of information to try to figure out where you're located. Again, my goal is not to scare anyone, but it's better to be thinking about this stuff early on, so that when you do grow, there's not breadcrumbs that your followers can look back on your previous posts where you were more careless and figure out that type of information, right? Yeah, Sweet Melly Bakery says that's so scary in the chat. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to scare you, but if someone is motivated enough, they can do this. So it's just better to be cognizant of these things early on. Okay, so the other thing to be wary of is that when you're in, for example, if you're in your car and you're filming, whether you have a camera mount or you're just parked in your car doing Instagram stories or vlogging or something like that, ensure that there is nothing in the background. Especially this is if you have your camera mounted and you're driving. It's very easy to see street signs out the back window or the side window or things like that. So when you're filming, you just have to be cognizant that you're at an angle that's down enough so you can't really see anything in the background of the camera. And this is just something that we've learned over the years, that it's very, especially, this is in the weeds a little bit, but when you're driving straight, it's easy enough to film down and so you can't see anything, but it's actually when you turn, you're making a left turn or you're making a right turn or something like that, that's when you can start seeing street signs of the cross streets and things like that. So, if you are going to be filming in locations like that, make sure that you're just doing it on a straightaway. And then when you just turn off the camera when you're turning and things like that. So again, this is just from years of experience of knowing this is things that you need to be conscious of when you're, especially if you're a vlogger or something like that. Cool. So that's about your surroundings. The second thing I wanted to talk about was about how important it is to not use your home address when you're starting to get products from brands. And so I always encourage creators to get a UPS store box, not a PO box. If you're in the US, but elsewhere, you can, there are posted postal stores, postal annex or whatever, where you can get a box and it's not a PO box, right? So it actually has a real street address, and it's suite 290 or something like that. So it's a street address and then it's number 290 or something like that. The reason that's important is that some brands are not able to ship to PO boxes. So especially if it's like perishable or something. So if it's like a UPS store or something, that can actually receive and sign for packages for you, even if it's perishable or something like that. Because some brands will want to send you like ice cream on like dry ice or flowers or something like that, right? So it's always good practice. And yes, it is going to be an investment, but you can get, essentially what you can do is you can get the smallest size box. And I think we've talked about it before, that it's like $30 to $40 or something like that. And if the package doesn't fit in there, they'll still receive the package for you and just keep it in the back. Right. So you don't need to get a giant box. You can get like the smallest one and then they'll still receive packages for you. So the catch there is that you can't get the packages at all hours of the day. Like, sometimes you can pay for get a key and you can get your mail, but the large packages you have to receive when they're during normal business hours. Yeah. So real quickly, Coco says, if I'm vlogging on my way somewhere, I vlog closer to the destination rather than near my house. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right, Coco. And then Oliver from Road to Finish said, oh yeah, I think Philip DeFranco just spoke about this issue. It can definitely be a problem and it's really important to be safe. Yeah, absolutely. So again, getting the UPS store box, I think, is important. And the other benefit to that is that when you do incorporate as a business, if you get to that point in your creator business where you think it's warranted to have like a LLC or an S corporation or wherever, based on where you live, you can use the address of the UPS store box, not your home address. Because what happens is that all of that is public information. So pretty much every state in the US has what's called a Secretary of State website. And if you type in the name of your business, let's say it's Creator XYZ Inc., if you type in the name of that business on the Secretary of State website, it'll show the address of the business, right? So if it's your home address, we made this mistake early on where we listed our apartment address as the mailing address for the business. And so everyone found out where we lived because we didn't realize that was going to be public information once we got the business name, essentially. Yeah. Oh, in the Instagram chat here, Honing Home said that someone I follow recorded themselves dropping off their daughter at daycare, and it made me nervous. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to talk about special things related to kids soon, because we have kids, and that's definitely something we've talked about. Yes, exactly. I also see that makes me cringe when I see stuff like that. And so yeah. So actually, let's talk about that right now. So don't film at if you have children, don't film at your kids' schools. Right? You have to be conscious of that stuff, right? Be conscious of also showing other people's children or their friends, right? Because you never know people's sensitivities and whether or not they want their kids to be on camera and things like that. I see other creators filming other people's children and things like that. And I don't know. I don't think that's super respectful. And you never know what privacy sensitivities they might have. I also think it's very important to have a conversation with your children's schools or daycare or, after school events or things like that about what you do. I know that some creators are sensitive to that stuff and they don't want people knowing what they do. But from a safety perspective, I think it's really important to have that conversation because they need to know they are what's the right word? They are protecting your children when your children are in their care. So the last thing you want to have happen is some random person show up and say, hey, I know Justin and April, and they gave me permission to pick up their kids. Right? That's scary, but something like that, if someone is motivated enough, you do that. So you need to have a conversation with with them and say, hey, this is what we do for a living. No one has permission to pick up my children other than the people that are approved on this list. Another thing that you need to do is make sure that if people call the school and try to get information about your kids or about you, they need to know that they can't disclose any information, or even whether your kids attend that school, right? So you always want to make sure that you have that conversation in advance so that they know not to give out that type of information. Yeah, and Honing Home said I kindly messaged her, and she was so appreciative because she hadn't thought of it. Yeah, exactly. Because honestly, when you're starting out as a creator, you don't think about these types of things, and you can't even like think like, oh, a year in advance, like people would like want to know that stuff about me. But yes, again, like my wife and I did not think about that when we first started vlogging early on, but it became a problem later on because we had all these YouTube videos and all these posts where it's like we weren't super careful about what we were saying and what we were showing. So you need to be thinking about these things like early on right now. So that again, just thinking about these things are important. Oh, another thing, have a conversation with your kids when they're old enough, so that they know that if someone approaches them, right? If for some reason they're with someone else, family or friends, or at daycare, leaving daycare or whatever, and says, oh, I know your mommy and daddy, and they told me I'm going to come pick you up today. Know that even if they know your name or know your mommy's and daddy's name, you don't go with them. Right? Because, the followers could know the names of your kids from your posts and things like that. Right? So you need to have a conversation with your kids as early as possible about this kind of thing. Again, I'm trying not to like scare anyone, but like these are just, things that you need to be thinking about and things that you need to talk about with your children and your family and things like that. Okay. Let's see other things. Also, I really do think that it's important to be respectful of your family and friends and ask them ahead of time if they're okay being filmed or tagged on social media. Because, we've had instances where people have like found our friends' social media accounts and like harassed them, or family and harass them. And so we're very conscious about who we include on our in our pictures and in our videos and things like that. And unless they're comfortable with that, we don't show them or tag them or show their kids or anything like that. So it's always conversations that we've had in advance, because some people aren't comfortable with like having a camera in their face. You may think it's normal, but a lot of other people aren't comfortable with that, and you have to respect that. You have to understand that. And so I think that's like a really important thing to think about first. Okay, so let's talk about other safety things. I always encourage creators to have two-step authentication on all of your social media, not text message based, right? But actually like the Google Authenticator app or other, authenticator apps that they have out there, where you get a code. It's like a 6-digit code where you have to enter it every time when you log into your social media account. Because especially if you're doing this as a full-time business, the worst thing that can happen is that someone gains access of your social media accounts, right? Or gains access to your email. That's the worst case, because then they probably can change passwords to all your social media accounts, right? So it's really, really, really important. So if you're using a similar password or the same password on all of your social media accounts today, please, today, do this. Change all your passwords. In fact, what's most important is use a password manager like LastPass or OnePass. I use LastPass, and it generates a random, let's say 24 character password with like literally it's random characters and numbers. And every time you log in, you have to, get a password, or you get like a 6-digit code. It can remember it, it'll remember your account or remember your device for 30 days or whatever. But I mean, a slight inconvenience of like having to go get a code takes 10 seconds or 15 seconds, when you do that, but it's going to eliminate just a giant headache if you ever get hacked or things like that. And literally this has happened to creators I've known where they lose access to their account, all their content is deleted, and their major livelihood is at jeopardy. And if you've ever tried to get in contact with some of these social media platforms like YouTube or Instagram or whatever, it's like basically impossible because you don't have a direct contact. And so like getting, reobtaining access to your social media accounts or, restoring content that the hacker deleted or is trying to ransom you or whatever, this stuff happens, guys. It happens, right? So you really need to be like, just please, if you haven't done this before, if you haven't done this yet, sign up for LastPass, sign up for a password manager, get a, two-factor authentication on every social media account that you're on. Instagram, pretty much every one of these accounts has two-factor, protection. So please do that. Okay. I'm going to dive back into the tap here real quick. Dive back into the chat on Instagram. Yeah. Gracie says, I never even post my husband on my social media account. Yeah, Sweet Melly says, wow, people suck. That's insane. Yeah, Laura Gold, good tips. I haven't set that up. Yeah, please, everyone do this. It's really important. Yeah, DN Fam says that we plan to do a safe word once our girls get old enough. That's necessary, though, for reasons like you mentioned. Absolutely. I think that, the other thing that you can do on your bank is you can actually have a verbal password. Because some people, like literally some people, okay, this happened to us one time that we moved and we closed our UPS store box. Like we had our UPS store box address published on like our social media accounts. So if people wanted to like mail us letters and things like that. And so what happened was people found out the phone number of that UPS store. And after we had already closed the box, they called and tried to reopen the box in our name to try to like receive packages from brands and PR and things like that. Cause we no longer had that address. We moved. But they basically, thankfully, the UPS store employee called us and were like, hey, like someone was trying to like reopen the account in your name. Is that you? And we were like, no, right? So it's like literally people do crazy stuff. So, having like on your bank, especially having like a verbal passcode in addition to like your name and your phone number and things like that is really critical. Cause again, we have seen it all. I'm telling you guys, we have seen it all. Okay. So 2-step authentication. Okay. Here's another one. This one is actually really, really important. Is that when you're traveling, unless it's a sponsored travel deal, that's one thing. Try not to post about the fact that you're traveling while you're gone, right? Because especially if people know where you live or they know your address or they know generally where you live, you don't want to have like them break into your house. This has happened like the famous situation with the Kardashians where they posted that they were in Paris or whatever. And I think it was kind of an inside job, but people knew that they were there. They knew that they had all this really expensive jewelry and things like that. And they got robbed. Right. So you do not want to be posting about the fact that you are like elsewhere, not at your house, and you're in another state or another country or something like that. Because you just don't want that kind of thing to happen. So what we do is that usually when we're traveling for, let's say a week or something, we capture all the content, even Instagram story video content, and we do not post about it until we're home. Right. So again, if you are like on vacation and it's in a partnership with a brand and things like that, or with a resort or airline or something like that, yeah, maybe it can't be prevented. But if it's just a vacation that you're on with your family and it's not sponsored, like I think it's best practice not to post about the fact that you're gone until you get back. That's just like our best practice. And if you're a YouTuber, then schedule content, where you're maybe a week behind and you have like those videos go live when you're out of town already. So anyways, I know these are like, okay, so that was a lot. That was a lot of stuff. I know it was a lot of stuff, but let me know in the chat if you have any questions about this stuff. But I just think it's really important to be thinking about this stuff, especially when you're first starting out, because you can prevent a lot of this stuff that has happened to my wife and I over the years. So yeah, I just wanted to, Honing Home says, could you mention that you're on vacation, but mention a house sitter or still too risky? Yeah, I mean, I think that's okay. Mentioning that someone's like at your home, I think is good. Obviously, the best case scenario is that people don't know where you live in the first place. But if that is a challenge and people have already found out or something like that, again, I think the best case scenario is just don't even mention that you're on vacation. Like, look, like I get it. Like you're in the moment, you want to post on stories or whatever. Like I get it. But I don't know. I just think it's best practice not to post any of that stuff until you get back, just to prevent anything like that from happening. So, but yeah, I mean, if you really do need to post, like saying that you have a house sitter or saying you have your security system armed or something like that, that's another thing. Like, getting a security system with cameras and an alarm system that's monitored by, an outside agency or whatever is really important. I think too, something that you can access on your phone. I think that's a worthwhile investment too. So yeah, so great question though. Hey, a break for mommy. What's going on? Thanks for joining. Laura Gold said, I use LastPass for my full-time job. Yeah, that's absolutely. I love LastPass. I think LastPass is great. All right. Ashley in the chat said I should change my channel name, shouldn't I? It depends. Like, so for the longest time, my wife April and I, didn't mention our last names anywhere on social media. Like we have our last names out there now. My name is Justin Moore. People know my last name, both of our last names, because people found them out, right? And so we for the longest time we tried to prevent that. But now that they're out there, I mean, it's really up to you. If you don't want to like have your last name out there, then yeah, that would be something that you would, you could, potentially change your name. You'll have to figure out how to scrub past posts that you've done. If there's basically Google yourself, right? Like Google your name, see what's out there, see if there's, things that you're in control over to try to change. Like the funny thing about my name is that, Justin Moore is the name of a very famous country singer. So if you Google Justin Moore, basically nothing of me shows up really, or most of the things it's like about the country singer. But if you have an unusual name or a unique spelling of your name, and it's easier to find you on Google or something like that, because that's what most of your followers will do. They'll be like, where does Justin Moore live? Or where does, blah, 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 blah. That, if they're curious. Like the other thing too, I want to say is that I don't think most followers are trying to be like malicious or evil or creepy. Sometimes people are just like, I don't know, a little nosy, and they want to find that information out. And so, not that they're ever going to like take action on that. But if you want to prevent any of that kind of stuff from happening, trying to be very conscious of like, if you do want to protect that information, consider the way in which you're talking about yourself. But again, like, my wife and I, we have our last names out there. Like, it's just comes with the territory of being on social media and well-known and things like that. But just something to think about. Hey, what's up, Chris Giles? Thanks for joining. What's up, Chris? Nice, Chris. What's going on, man? Oliver in the chat said, actually, many brands will require a clause on their agreements where the influencer needs to make sure that everyone shown in a sponsored video has agreed to be on video. Yes, that's exactly right. And he also said that the brands use this to cover their backs in the case that something happens and they need to demand a video being taken down. Okay, so that's exactly right, Oliver. And let me tell you a real scenario that's happened to me. It's happened to someone I know. There was a brand partnership that a creator did, and they featured their child in the content, and they were separated from their partner. Okay, and they featured their spouse or their child in the content. And then once that content went live and the other partner found out that their spouse had, or their ex-partner had included the mutual child in the content, the other partner threatened legal action saying, I did not permit my child to be shown in this content. It was like a very, there's a lot of animosity between them. They were going through a divorce and all this stuff. And so, we hadn't, they hadn't secured the rights to like show their child or both parents or whatever in the content. And so it ultimately became this big nightmare for the creator. So, this stuff happens. So that like Oliver said, a lot of brands are starting to like include these types of releases in their contracts, especially if minors, like children, are going to be shown in the content, to ensure that, both parents basically have permitted this to happen. So yeah, I definitely have seen that to be the case. Real quickly, some of you who we're about halfway through. I can't believe it's already halfway through. But for those of you who have joined, at the very top, I just wanted to mention that let me actually share my screen. This would be good. Let me share my screen, y'all. Can you see this? So this is a workshop that I'm doing a week from today. So it's going to take the place of the live stream. And I'm calling it my brand attraction audit workshop. And it's basically, I've done about 200 of these for creators over the last several months. And it's all about how to attract more brands to you. And especially when brands and agencies land on your handle, they look for these very particular things before they even contact you. So because I run an influencer agency and we've recruited lots of creators for paid campaigns, there is like a very set list of things that we look for when we're trying to figure out who to partner with. And so I'm doing a whole workshop on this. I wanted to make it very affordable. It's only $40, and it's going to be live on Zoom. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm trying something new, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So I would love for you guys to participate. Let me put the chat or the URL to it back in the chat. And if you're not able to attend live, there's going to be a recording that's sent. And I would love for you to support me. It's also my birthday. next Friday, May 28th. So if you want to make the day really special for me, I would love for you to join. So again, like this is, you don't have to have any experience doing brand partnerships. You don't even have to have a large following on social media. If this is something that you are, it's an aspiration for you. It's something that you want to start making money with brands. I would really encourage you to participate because it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, just wanted to mention that again. Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Happy early birthday. Okay. Let's see. I know that Drea had a question. So he said, can you please answer my question above? Here. Drea said, is it normal for a brand to reach out and give a WhatsApp number to call them? They also gave an email, but I was skeptical, so I didn't respond. This is a good question. I would say that this is more common for international brands, probably, because WhatsApp is, I think, very common in other countries versus the US. I could be wrong, but like I just haven't experienced that much. So I would say that, perhaps they do, some brands do want to hop on the phone with you to talk about a collaboration before you actually do it. So I don't necessarily like giving their WhatsApp information prior to a partnership is suspicious per se. It's more about them, them potentially just wanting to connect with you and talk through ideas before reaching out about a partnership. So yeah, I mean, okay. On the one hand, I always encourage creators to like trust their gut. So if you're skeptical and it seems weird, then yeah, that, you got to listen to that. Especially if it's coming from like a Gmail address. That's another thing, like a Gmail or a Yahoo address or AOL or Hotmail or something like that. That's definitely suspicious. But if it's, it seems like a legitimate brand or an agency or a brand's website that they're, emailing from, and they say, like, let's connect over WhatsApp or email or something like that. I don't necessarily think that that's inherently suspicious, but I do think you need to trust your gut in certain situations. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, let's see who's in the chat. What's up, Pretty and her pearls? Sweet Melly Bakery. What's up? I need to share this. I'll be sending it to my friends. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that so much. Yes. There's going to be limited spaces too, because I think on Zoom, the type of account that I have, I'm limited to 100 people on the thing. So I don't know exactly how many people are going to be on, but it's definitely going to be limited spaces. So yeah, that would mean a lot to me. I appreciate that so much. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Laura says, do you ever get people trying to hijack your relationship? While that hasn't happened to me, I have received creepy messages. I can only imagine what bigger influencers have to deal with. So hijacking your relationship, I'm imagining you mean like people like messaging your partner. Is that what you mean? Like trying to like slide in their DMs and like give them creepy messages or something like that? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I mean, it definitely happens. Like you have people who well, like, look, especially for my wife and I, we have, had a family vlog or a vlog channel even before we had kids. So, our relationship was something that we talked about a lot. So, especially if like the type of content that you're making has to do anything with like your relationship, yeah, you're going to get people reaching out. But at some point you have to like have that trust factor with your partner. Like I literally do, like, I don't respond to DMs like that. I just ignore it. I delete it immediately. So, I DM with people who about being a creator and helping them with their business and things like that. But you do need to have a trust factor with your partner to know that if they're responding to random people, that there's a reason. Right? Especially if your partner is involved with your content. It's one thing for them not even to be involved in your content and they're like replying to like people who follow you. That's, I don't know, that's a little weird in my opinion. But because both April and I, my wife and I, are involved in the content, we have a vlog channel. We're very active on social media and things like that. It's a little bit different, but I do think there has to be kind of like that. I would say like have a conversation with your partner about it, like what you are and aren't comfortable with. If you are just not comfortable with them, like responding to people, especially if they're not even like active on social media and it's mainly you, just like have a conversation beforehand about what the expectations are. But I don't know, we're getting into just like relationship dynamics, like put aside social media. I think it also comes down to like what trust you have with your partner in general, even if you weren't on social media. So, my wife and I, we are not the jealous type at all. So it's like it's not even really a big deal. But again, I just don't think it's not something I like even feel comfortable doing. I just don't respond to people who like send messages that clearly aren't related to business or things like that. Right. So that's just my thought. I love Sarah. I mentioned in a podcast that her fiance, with her fiance, that it happens to them. They laugh about it, but I was just wondering if you and April have to deal with that. Yeah. I mean, honestly, not really, because I don't know. We just don't engage. We don't like, I don't know. Maybe other creators are different, but I don't know. It's just not something that we really engage with. Oh, Chris Giles, have you worked with any creators on Amazon Live yet? So for my agency, no. But April and I have done, we did our first sponsorship on Amazon Live a couple weeks ago, actually, which was super exciting. And we just locked in 2 more, it seems like, or 3 more, actually, potentially. So yeah, I would, I'm just super excited about that format in general. And actually I have a really exciting announcement, which is that I think I'm going to be doing a workshop on live commerce as well, because I am just so bullish on this format, y'all. And I think that this is just going to represent such a big opportunity. I've helped some other creators like who are getting, interested in the platform. Not just Amazon Live, like there's, Facebook just announced that they're going to be doing live commerce. Walmart and TikTok have been doing stuff. A lot of these platforms like JCPenney, Kohl's, like a lot of them are announcing like live commerce type stuff. There's all these platforms that are popping up to help creators do live commerce. So I'm super bullish about format, and I think I'm going to do like a workshop on it, because I think just like things that we've learned, we've only been doing it 6 months, but we've learned a ton over the last 6 months. So I definitely. Oh, Chris says, I love the live commerce. I've been super heavy into that space. Yes. Absolutely. I'm excited about doing that. So I'm not exactly sure. I have so many different like workshops and courses and things that I just need to like clone myself, have like 4 of me so I can do all the things that I want to do. In addition to like all the like brand deals and content that my wife and I are making, and the agency. So it's just a lot, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. Oliver is always like my hype man. I appreciate that, Oliver. He said, a quick plug on behalf of Justin. He gave me a channel audit a while ago, and I got a bunch of great advice. I still haven't acted on all of them, but those are definitely things that I want to change. Well, awesome, Oliver. I appreciate that so much. Yeah. So, I love doing these channel audits and brand audits and things like that. So this is going to be a really, really impactful workshop. The other thing I want to mention here too is that I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this workshop again, because really what I want to do is I want to turn this into an actual course, but it's going to be more expensive. It's probably going to be, I'm not exactly sure. This is kind of like a beta test. This is going to be a live Zoom thing, but when I actually release the course material for this brand attraction stuff, it's going to be more of like a on-demand course. So if you have any desire to like interact with me on Zoom live, have your camera on, have your mic on, and ask me questions and things like that too at the end, then this is probably going to be your only chance, because I'm not sure if I'm going to do this again. So what I want to do, so like here's my thought process on doing this type of stuff is, I want this live Zoom, this workshop to be where I iron out the kinks for releasing this as a course. So I want to iron out the kinks by doing a live format like this, get some feedback from y'all, and then do the course, like do the mini course, basically, that I can then offer all the time. So if you have any interest in like, being part of this like beta, that's why it's also like quite affordable, because you guys are kind of my guinea pigs as we do this stuff. So yeah, so that and I think that's what I'm going to do for all these different like workshops that I'm planning on doing, because I want to kind of test and learn before I like put a bunch of effort, honestly, into like recording a bunch of content and releasing a course, to make sure that like the content that I'm putting out there is super useful and as valuable as possible. Ashley said, are you going to include this in your course next month, or do I need to do this workshop separately? Yeah. So Ashley, this is not going to be included in my course next month. So this is going to be separate. I think I mentioned that I took this portion of the course. This originally, when I did the first cohort, my brand attraction audit type information was in the course, but to be able to make the course more affordable, I took this out of it. And so the course is only 4 weeks now, and it's compacted, and it's a lot more like impactful. And so if you want to like have this information, this is going to be standalone. So you would probably want to participate in this as well. Yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, Ashley, I hope that I'm going to see you in the course, in the Brand Deal Wizard course next month, because I'm going to be opening enrollment soon, probably within the next like week or two. And then the course is going to be mid-June, starting mid-June. So I'm excited about that. Okay. Yeah. DN Fam says, I love Oliver's honesty. Exactly. Oliver is the king of honesty. A break for mommy says, your help has been so valuable. I think I appreciate that so much. That really means a lot to me. Yeah, and Laura said, going back to the thing about like people trying to get in your relationship when you're on social media. Sounds like it's all about having convos with those who matter, partners, children, friends. Thank you. 100. Yes, exactly. It's all about having these conversations with in advance. And Aubrey, what's up in the chat? Aubrey said, advice from Justin YouTube has entered the chat. Yes, I mentioned that before I even made, before this, I rebranded this channel as Creator Wizard. This was an advice channel, y'all. I just gave advice generally about relationships and marriage and things like that. So I've helped so many of my friends over the years and things like that, helping them through issues and conflict resolution and things like that. So yeah, honestly, a lot of these challenging things with respect to being on social media or just interpersonal dynamics comes down to like communication. In my opinion, a lot of things can be solved through communication, good communication. So the joke that I always say is that, April and I, when we first moved in together, we had a studio. If you've ever been in a studio, there's nowhere to go, right? Your bed is in the same space as your kitchen. Yeah, usually you have like a separate bathroom area, but you literally, if you're like fighting with each other, there's nowhere to go. So you have to like work out your issues right away. So I joke that that's the way that we developed like really good communication, because otherwise we had nowhere to go. We had to just like work it out in the beginning. Cool. So yeah. So oh look, there we go. My wife in here just joined the chat, April Athena 7. She said, looking fine. Thanks, boo. Are you going to make a cameo today, or are you still doing your makeup? Maybe you just took a shower. Yes, a studio. April said, yes, a studio. Exactly. You guys, I forgot water today. I did not bring in a water. I had a coffee, but I did not bring water today. That's how ill prepared I was. But today, do you remember last week how I was like all dizzy? Because I didn't eat enough. I ate when I went to the coffee shop. They had these little like egg frittatas, so I got some protein. I ate an egg frittata, and so I'm not feeling dizzy today. So that's good. D and Fam said, Justin, you should pick someone to do a full turnaround on and share where they were and where they were after your advice. I bet people would see everything that you have to offer. Oh. Thank you, boo. Look at this. Are you going to show? Come over here.
I feel sick today.
I'm sorry. You want to sit on my lap, or you just want to?
Hi, friends. I've just been editing.
Oh, I'm sorry, boo.
And I still have my thing. I was working out.
Oh, the strap on.
My little strap. Not a strap.
No. Your heart rate monitor.
Yes.
Dang. Oh, honey. I'm sorry you don't feel well.
It's all good.
Oh, thank you for my water.
Here, that's
go
my water
go into
bottle.
the middle so they can see you on the IG chat. There you go. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you so much.
What was you talking about? I just came.
I was talking about how the reason we have such good communication is because we lived in a studio.
It's honestly because
and we couldn't
Justin,
escape each other.
Because I'm petty and he's not. That's all. The end. Bye.
Thank you, honey. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
April said,
I'm gonna expect you to refill that bottle.
I will. I promise I'll refill it. Thank you. See, you could tell this is April donated me her water bottle, because usually I have a different color one. I needed that because I was getting parched. Okay. So going back to what D and Fam said, I think that's a really interesting idea, D. She said, I know for sure that I've seen major growth just from the lives. Boom. That's amazing. I appreciate that you've gotten so much value just from the lives. So imagine the free lives, what kind of quality of content you're going to get on the paid workshop or the paid course. Boom. There we go. That's my little testimonial. Okay, let's see here. A break for mommy said that April was pregnant with Liam when I was having my son Carter. Oh my gosh. You're like an OG follower. So thank you so much. That really means a lot. I have a video where I talk about her advice on breastfeeding. Dang. Thank you so much for your support for so long. That really means a lot. That's so cool. Okay. D and Fam said, check. Me too. Trust that. That might've been why I came up with the idea. Yeah, no, for sure. That's yeah. And Chris said I'd volunteer for that. Yeah. That's a really good idea. I should do like a transformation. Okay. So interestingly, one creator that I did an audit for, her name was Doro Cubillo. Let me actually pull up her channel. Let me see here. So Doro Cubillo has a really cool channel where she does, let me share my screen. Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is crazy. I haven't looked at her channel in a second. Okay, I'm going to pull up I need to reach back out to her. I haven't chatted with her in a while. This is Doro's channel, okay? Doro has 233,000 subscribers. When I did an audit for her, she had less than 10,000. And that was like in October. So she has had an absolutely insane growth. I'm not claiming like entirely success of like her growth, but I mean, holy cow, her views are like insane now. Insanity. I need to reach out to Doro. Doro, I don't know if you're on this live stream. I'm going to send you this live stream after, but I'm just so impressed by her growth. I mean, she has like really gone into this like full force into this niche of like beauty lifestyle challenges, things like that. Yeah, it's amazing the growth that she's seen. So maybe I'll circle back with her and then we can do a before and after, because I did a whole analysis on her YouTube channel and things like that before she blew up. So wow, that's so cool. I love seeing that. Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah, the growth is insane. Exactly. And the thing about Doro that I found is that she really picked a lane. She was just like, I'm going to do this and that's it. And she's very, very intentional about like doing analysis on like keyword research and like what search volume trends, like things like that. And she's like really like going after it. So pretty impressed with that. She like, I don't know if you could see it, but she's doing a ton of like hair stuff, like hair challenges, like skin challenges, things like that. So it's crazy. Yeah. Like, yeah. Drea said, now that's growth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this is the other thing. I love this, Oliver. Holy smokes. That's epic. YouTube is too saturated. They said, you can't grow on YouTube anymore. They said, boom. Right. Exactly. Right. When you pick a lane and you're very purposeful, like one of the major things that I talk to a lot of creators about on these audits is they are trying to do, especially when you're starting out, they're trying to do too much, in my opinion. And it's very difficult for potential followers or potential brands who want to partner with you to decide or like to really understand even what type of content creator you are, because you're wanting to do all these different things. And I get it. Like you have multifaceted interests as an individual, as a person, right? And so you want to talk about a lot of different things, but until you have proven to your followers that you are an interesting, multifaceted person, here's the thing. When a follower, think about your own behavior. When you land on someone's profile, let's say you found someone's reel and it was like really funny, right? You click on their profile and you're hovering over, you're looking at their profile. Should I follow this person? Right? You're making that split-second judgment. You're probably looking at their profile for like 5 seconds. Probably what you do, you look at their picture, you scroll their feed a little bit, you look at the first line of their bio, and you are trying to decide, should I follow this person? You have 5 seconds, probably, right? Think about your own behavior, right? That's what everyone else is doing to you on your social media, not just your Instagram, not just your YouTube, not just your TikTok, not just your blog, whatever, right? And so that's a lot of the stuff. And so you have to basically look at objectively at your social persona, at your identity, and figure out how to give it a facelift and make it very, very obvious, very clearly, very quickly, what it is that you do. And what I'm going to be talking about, my mic volume is so low. Is it? Oh, anyways, I don't know why my mic volume is low. Is it low for anyone else? Anyways. So I lost my train of thought, but that's why it's so critical. I'm going to be talking all about that in the workshop next week, about how to do that and how to look at yourself objectively. Road to Finish says, or Oliver says it's fine. Okay. So turn up your volume, D. I don't know. Maybe your volume's low. Anyways. Yes. So please join the workshop. It's going to be very helpful. I promise. A break for mommy said, your advice is needed because I'm trying to rebrand my YouTube and I was told to delete my old videos and not hide them. I was told to delete all my old videos and not hide them. I'm so confused. That's strange. I'm not sure why someone said so. Versus like, yeah, I don't think there's any reason that you would need to delete them or hide. Like, I don't know. Like if you're trying to rebrand, I get it. Like I rebranded my channel, I privated all my advice videos on this channel. So I didn't delete them, but I don't think it really makes a difference. Like, whether you private them or delete them. If you want to do that, I did that for my channel. So I don't think it matters. Like YouTube's not going to care. It's all about like the content that you're serving, the new content that you're serving. So I don't really think it matters. Everyone says my mic sound fine. Okay, awesome. Hey Ray, what's going on? Okay, yo, we got like 10 minutes left. What questions do you got left? Let's talk about Ashley has a question. Pardon me. It's the hardest when you pick a lane and your followers want the most expensive version of that lane. So when I do decorating videos, they do so well. When I clean, they aren't feeling it. Okay, so a couple thoughts on this. First and foremost, I get it. I understand, but there's ways in which you can be inventive and creative about this. So, for example, if you want to do decorating stuff, maybe you can pick a lane where it's more modest from a budget standpoint. So maybe you can do upcycling with thrifted items. So you go to the thrift store and you find stuff. So it's like, decoration on $100 budget. $100 budget, like shop with me, decoration, DIY, something or other. Maybe you can do that. It doesn't have to be expensive items. Maybe you do an Amazon decoration video and then you can return the items afterwards. Right? Like here's the thing, like on Amazon, we do Amazon Live every single week and we buy lots and lots of items to showcase on our lives. We keep, a fair amount of them, but we return stuff too, which is not a big deal. And the Amazon Live team is totally cool with that. They say it's like not a big deal. So I wouldn't be shy about look, this is an investment, right? In your content. So if you're purchasing items to showcase them and then returning them, like, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Like, especially if you set up the expectation with your followers that this is what you're doing for your job, for your career. Like, you don't have to like keep everything per se, right? You're showing them different ways to do things, right? So, I don't see anything wrong with like purchasing items just to like test things out and see which things work. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Right. So maybe, if people are like really loving your decoration, type content, I think that's great. I think you should do that. Okay. D and Fam says, yes, my problem is I try to do too much. But motherhood is too much. How do you minimize all the aspect of motherhood just into one thing? I've got views on product reviews before I got into lifestyle. Yeah, that's a good question. So here's the thing. Like, I think that, you really should start off with the topics that you're most passionate about in motherhood. Because at the end of the day, like, you're going to have to make quite a bit of content about that topic before you may see traction. And yes, I hope that you're analyzing the performance of all those things that you're testing out. But at the end of the day, you really do have to love it. Like, for example, I love talking about brand deals. I love talking about the business of being a creator. I don't get thousands of views on my videos, right? I get hundreds of views on my videos. And I'm okay with that, right? Because I love doing this and I love pumping out content and doing this because I legitimately love talking about this stuff. So I always encourage creators to, like, if you are going to pick a lane within, I think that's important. And you need to be analyzing your content and your performance and things like that. But you really do have to love it at the end of the day. So if you're trying to figure out, if you're struggling, what topic about motherhood to talk about, like, what do you gravitate towards? What do you love talking about? If it's product reviews about, baby products or motherhood or things like that, do that. If it's other things, do that. Right. So I would suggest, like, that's a good place to start if that helps, D. Yeah. Oh, and Ashley said related to like stuff on a budget. Those are a great idea. I should try the Amazon decor and return it because my audience doesn't want too many DIYs. My analytics show an older audience and I feel like they just want to purchase it. Yeah, that's good. I mean, so those are good insights. So I would definitely try that. And Drea says, yes, for returning, I'm naturally a returner. My husband always laughs at me. So for decorating on your channel, and then you can try that. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's totally fine. Like, look, I think that the thing about being a creator that a lot of people don't think about is that this is your job. Creating content is your job. So as with any business, if you owned a brick and mortar clothing store, or you owned a restaurant, or you owned any type of business, you have to purchase things to be able to make your business run. Whether that's purchasing advertising on a bus or a billboard or a park bench or a shopping cart little ad or a local magazine or whatever, that's or you have to hire employees to run the store. You have to purchase, cleaning supplies, bathroom supplies, if you have a bathroom in your business, like all, signage, things in your store. You have to purchase things to make the store run. You are a creator, you are running a business. You have to purchase things to make the business run. To create content, that is the way in which you generate revenue for your business. So it is totally reasonable to invest in supplies, invest in things, invest in camera equipment, invest in courses like Justin's brand attraction audit workshop to invest in your knowledge to help make your business improve, right? You like that? Did you like that? Right? So you are a business. You have to invest in things to be able to do that. Don't you need to have an abundance mindset when it comes to this, not a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is I have to purchase all these things and I have to keep them. And I have to keep them because my followers won't think I'm authentic or organic if I purchase it just for the video and then they don't see it again. No, you set the expectation with your followers, with your viewers, that you are the type of person who tests things, you review things. So you're going to see a lot of things in my content because I love testing things. And if I return it, yeah, you own up to that and you say, yeah, I returned it because I just wanted to see how it would look in my home, Ashley, right? And then I didn't like it, so I returned it. Or I liked it, but now I want to try something else for this new season, for the summer or for the winter or whatever, right? Right? I actually think that that's that's more like that will help you. Just shifting your mindset in that regard will liberate you to be more creative with your content, because then you can test out new things and you won't be as worried about the budget. So maybe you have like whatever it is, a couple $100 budget for the month or something for your content, or I don't know, whatever your budget is. And maybe you allow yourself to keep, 25% of the things or whatever it is. And then you return the rest, and you just like are very strict about your budget if you're on a budget as a creator. So, whatever that rule is for you, I encourage you to like stick to that and think about, just shift your mindset when it comes to like investing in your business as a creator. I just think that's so critical. Yeah. And Ashley said, look, oh, I love that. I did have that mental block. Like if they don't see it in my house again, they will be upset. No, you just own it. Say it in the caption, say it in the YouTube video, say it in where you're posting that, I love, this is part of who I am. I love testing out new things. I love trying out new decorating styles and seasonal things and all this stuff. Set the expectation, be very upfront that it's going to be a revolving door of things that they're going to see because you're always trying out new things. So make it work for you and your lifestyle and your business. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Own it. I'm a big fan of just owning it as a creator. Right. And Laura says, this is important. I wonder if you can write off the items you keep as a business expense. Yes, absolutely. You can absolutely write it off as a business expense. Like, yes, you are okay. You bought this item and you are making some revenue back from YouTube Avenue, YouTube revenue share or wherever it is, Instagram posts or whatever, from a brand sponsor or something like that. That is a business expense. It is the cost of making that revenue for the business. So you absolutely can write it off within reason. Yes, totally. A break for mommy said, I needed to hear this. Yes, I'm a reviewer, so this has been such a block for me. Yeah, you need to get past that mental block and understand that this is just like part of being a creator, right? Especially if you're doing reviews and tutorials and things like that. This is really, really critical. There's a bunch of stuff in the chat here. You guys just like came out of the woodwork. I think I need to make a video on this. I'm going to make a note here because this seemed to get you guys really fired up. Mental blocks. What's this? Give me the title of this video, guys. Mental blocks for content. It's not that. It's like mental blocks for, on a budget. I don't know. Creating content. I don't know. I got to think about it. Let me know what you think the title of this video should be. Something like that. Oliver said in the chat here, if there are only a handful of shops or brands that you use in your videos or your life, you could always aim for an affiliate deal with that brand, especially if you have mentioned the brand organically. Great idea, Oliver. There is a way to offset the cost of investing in that product for your content. Maybe you can, set up an affiliate deal with them. Absolutely. Love that. Totally. Yes. Oh, Ashley said, yes, Justin, LOL, so simple, but life-changing. I don't know why I was making that so complicated. I love it. Hey, I am hoping that I'm changing lives one live stream at a time. So if I helped you change your mindset, Ashley, or a break for mommy in the chat, she said, you just made my week. You just made my week. You just made my day, because that's what this is all about for me. I love doing this. I cannot tell you the fulfillment that I get from a creator telling me that they just got their first brand deal, or I helped them unlock this mental block that they had, or they're feeling so much more optimistic about their future as a creator because of just something I said in a live stream or something I said in a video or something like that. Like, this is what I live for. I swear to you, this is what I live for. And so just the, like in my course, like in my Brand Deal Wizard course, I have literally, like people have told me like privately that, and in like testimonials that they've made, that I have changed their lives, that I've changed their families' lives, because they went from making a couple $100s per brand deal to like 4 figures. I had a creator who is just negotiating their first 5-figure deal when they were doing $500 deals 2 months ago. Right. So it's like, this is like life-changing for people. And so it's like, it's so, we talked about imposter syndrome a little bit last stream or two streams ago. And I mentioned that I felt imposter syndrome at the beginning when I started coming out with courses and workshops and things like that. I literally don't feel that anymore, because the transformations that I'm helping people achieve, it's just that's the proof in the pudding there. Like that, it's just awesome. So, yeah. Laura said, the theme of today's chat, back to the basics. Yes, absolutely. Back to basics. A lot of it comes down to like mental stuff. Aubrey says your passion shows. Thank you, Aubrey. That means so much to me. Yeah. And Ashley said, that's exactly it. I feel more optimistic to create content. Plus, interior decorating is really my passion, but I didn't think I could afford to keep up with that. I think my audience could feel that. Yeah, absolutely. And Oliver said that the title of that video should be how to run a YouTube channel with zero budget. Oh, that's a good one. Like how to create content on a budget. Good. Thank you for I'm crowdsourcing my title ideas. How to come up with video ideas on a low budget. Yeah. I'm copying all these. Wait, hold on. How to come up with video ideas on a budget. This is good. Oh my gosh. So funny. Okay. One more question before we dive today. Keto Africana. Hey, Keto Africana. Thanks for joining. How about if your content is primarily based in food? You can't return food items once it's opened. Great idea. So for the most obvious one would be expensing it. So if you really are going to be doing like reviewing food items and like cooking them and trying them and things like that, then you should be expensing those purchases. Number one. Number two, are there different creative content ideas you can talk about that are more about cooking on a budget or something? I know you do a lot of keto stuff. So can you purchase in bulk? Go to like we have a store in California called Sprouts, and they have a whole bulk section. So you can get bulk rice or bulk grains or bulk whatever, and you can buy everything in bulk. And so maybe you do a series or a content theme all around affordability with respect to like trying to maintain a keto diet on a budget or something like that. I make that, if you're trying to like save money or you're on a budget yourself, lean into that with your content. And because I bet there's a lot of folks that could resonate with that, right? There are people who wanted to like do keto, but they couldn't, they don't think that they could afford it, because there is a lot of like specialty like products and things that they think you need to buy. So maybe you just lean into that, right? Just go with what's at your disposal, right? You don't need to like go as broad, because like, look, I know that you focus on keto and things like that, right? And maybe you think that you have to go broad because focusing on keto feels already narrow to you. But I would suggest that even going more narrow, like keto on a budget, like that would give you traction, because you have then picked a lane. You have picked that lane. And there's probably, there's other people out there doing keto, but you're the only one doing it on a budget. Right. So I would suggest to you that like thinking about ways in which you can lean into what you think of restrictions, turn around and use that as opportunity as leverage. Right. So like, I just think that be creative with it. Hey, Zara, thanks for tuning in. Oh, boom. Here we go. D and Fam, currently negotiating my first 4-figure deal. Yes, D. When we first started DMing a couple months ago, can you imagine that you would be where you are right now, currently negotiating my first 4-figure deal? You have come a long way. I'm going to say that. So anyways, Oliver said, Justin, perhaps you should put together a mini course on how to start a YouTube channel with minimal investments. A lot of people think that this requires a lot of money in the beginning. That's a really interesting idea, Oliver. Interesting. I have so many different course ideas. I just like I have so many that I want to do. I can't even tell you. But everything will come in time. You know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So I'll get there. I know I will. And I appreciate you all being along for the ride. The blended beauty. Let's see, one more question. Blended beauty, getting more inquiries for content creation only. Sorry for not clarifying. I didn't see your first question. That's interesting. I don't see the first part of your question, so I'm not really sure what you're asking. But anyways, like DM me if you have a follow-up question and maybe I can get to it next live. That was a lot. We talked about a lot today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And again, there's some people who joined halfway through. Last announcement before I jump off, I'm going to be doing a live Zoom workshop next Friday, same time. So in place of the live stream next week, I'm going to be doing this live workshop. Let me go back to it. It's all around how to attract more brand partners. It's called my brand attraction audit workshop. By the way, if I've done a brand attraction audit for you in the past, like maybe a free one, I'm going to be talking about a lot more detailed information on the workshop than I do, because the free audits that I was doing were like just maybe a couple minutes long. So I'm going to be talking through a lot more detailed stuff on the workshop. Again, it's only $40. I wanted to make sure that it was very affordable for everyone. And it's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be limited spaces. So I hope that, some of you guys can join in. I am putting the link back in the chat, so I would love to see you there. And thanks again for tuning in today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next time.